Hello and welcome to Sub 20 All In, where I've given myself 10 weeks to take my 5k PB down from 22 minutes to sub 20. Can it be done? I don't know, but that's what we're here to find out. Thanks for joining me, and here's what happened in week 9. This is it then, the final interval session of the plan before the taper begins properly. Of course, we've got the fastest and hardest session so far today with 20 reps, 300 meters each, hopefully at a 3:40 per kilometer pace. See if we can manage that. And then once that's done, time to relax a bit, get the legs a bit freshened up, ready for race day in a week and a half's time. So just like last week, I'm here at Queen's Park in Chesterfield, the venue of the 5k race. And last week I tried out the Adidas Takumi Sen 8 on this surface. I'd give them about a 7 out of 10 for how they felt on the day. Pretty good. Today I'm trying the Puma DV8 Nitro Elite Racers, which I think are going to be my race day shoe. Just want to see how they feel on the course today. They are the ones I set my 22:01 PB in on this course a number of months ago, so they felt good on that day. Don't see why they wouldn't today. I'll just double check, and then if all goes well today, I'll use them for the race.
In North Winfield, it's 12 degrees Celsius with mostly sunny skies. Today, you can expect showers, with a high of 18 degrees and a low of 11 degrees.
Here we are then, just about to start the workout now, get into the 2 kilometer warm-up. It's fairly clear on the paths at the moment, it doesn't remain that way. Puffin Billy the train is in action today, you'll hear him tooting as he goes round. But just a nice gentle 2 kilometre warm up around the park to begin with. I had my 2 younger daughters with me today. They were scooting and skating and playing on the swings while I was doing my session.
Hi.
Some friendly runners there to say hello to. More runners at the park, always good.
Morning.
Same too.
Hi. Hey mate.
There's my youngest daughter. The teenager didn't want to be on the video. Just about done with the warm-up now. And here we are approaching the hill towards the end of the first rep. So yeah, this is the climb I have to do 4 times on race day. You can see how the wall slopes to the right, that it's steep enough. And then it kind of peaks around here and you have a nice gentle downslope running towards the back of the pavilion. Always make some interesting noises when you've finished a rep. There's my daughter scooting along. Back on the hill. So I felt good in these early reps. Never know what traffic or vehicles, people you're going to encounter on this course. So I think I did start out a bit too fast. I had my alerts set for 5 seconds quicker and 5 seconds slower than the target pace range as usual. But generally the first third of the workout was faster than target. I was trying to stay in the range, but yeah, it's tricky when you're only doing 300 meters to keep an eye on your watch at the same time. Kind of distracts from the running, but there we go. The first 7 laps started with a slightly slow 3:47, then a 3:26. That must have been a downhill section. But the majority of those were faster than 3:40 pace.
Done. Yeah.
course paid for that a little bit with the later reps. Lots of cars and people around the cricket pitch and pavilion because there was a match on seemingly this morning. Quite a few people to weave in and out of. That was a close one.
Excuse me.
They didn't hear me. I had to squeeze past them on the left.
Start with the hill. Rep 13. 14 even.
Can't count. I'm blaming the hill. And there we go. So the next 7 reps are all not far off.
That one.
3.
Should be 110. Been too fast on every rep.
You see, I was thinking 1 minute 10 is the time I was aiming for. I blame Garmin for that. When I planned the workout, it told me that the estimated time for each interval should be 1 minute 10 seconds. So every time I heard a 106 or 107, I thought, oh, I'm going too fast. This workout's going well. So I think subconsciously I may have slowed down a bit due to that. You see here it says 0.3 of a kilometre should be done in 1 minute 10 as an estimate. I don't know how Garmin managed to get that so wrong. 105.9 was actually what I should have been targeting. But never mind, it was a great session anyway. Flying along at not far off 340 per kilometre pace and enjoying the shorter reps actually. 300 kilometres doesn't seem that long. Except on the uphills, of course. Just see my daughter swinging on the
Hi.
playground there.
Okay. How to start this next one without getting run over. I think I may die. Well, at least I managed to get 18 done.
Being a little bit dramatic there because there was a car in front of me just before I started my next interval. I was wondering how I was going to squeeze past it without it, turning into me and squishing me, but it just turned off before I got to it. It was fine.
Right, 2k warm down. Just started. Might have meant to say cool down. Brain
fart, I think I said before the camera cut out there. I had it doing 15-second intervals every minute. Well, there we go, the final reps. You can see they were around 340 or a second or a few slower.
Hi.
But the average from the total at the bottom says 340, so overall some were too fast, some were too slow. Managed to somehow average out at 340 per kilometre, which is the target. So could have been neater, but it went well. Okay then, session done. That's it, the final one. All the hard work's done now, bar a few strides next Wednesday, which I think I'll be able to cope with. When I woke up this morning, I was a little bit concerned. The legs were a bit sort of achy, tired. Yeah, a little bit of a tight spot in the glutes, and I'm just thinking, don't know how I'm going to do my fastest ever session with my legs feeling like this, but you can't trust how you feel, can you? You've just got to go out there, give it a go and see what happens. And somehow felt really good. At the end of each 300 meter rep, my watch kept telling me I'd done it faster than my target time of 1 minute 10. But yeah, I just run in the range, let the alerts tell me when to speed up and slow down, and just see what time I get at the end of it. And it worked out perfectly today. Somehow managed to average 3 minutes 40 per kilometre across all 20 reps. So some were a few seconds slow, some were a few seconds fast, and yeah, overall perfect session really. No idea how that came off, but it's left me feeling pretty confident now, whereas this morning probably wouldn't have said I was feeling overly confident. So yeah, massive boost getting this session done. Great to finish on a high with all the efforts now completed, and just some easy running, as I mentioned, a few strides next Wednesday, and then preparing for the race at the end of week 10. So all good. Absolutely great news. And yeah, I'll see you again on the long run this week, but it's only a 45-minute easy run, so calling it a long run feels completely wrong this week, but I'll see you there anyway. Good morning and welcome to the Sunday run of week 9. Technically Sunday is long run day, but today, as I mentioned, with the taper being in effect, it's just a 45-minute easy run. Actually my third 45-minute easy run of the week. I don't know whether you're the same, but I have routes that are loops from my house and I know how long they'll take, roughly speaking, at easy pace for each loop. So I'm on the one that takes me just over 40 minutes this morning, again, for the third time this week. So what I've done, which may seem a little bit crazy, is decide to do it in the reverse direction this morning, just to freshen things up, make it a bit more interesting. That's how crazy I am. So it's good to see everything from the opposite way around now. Go up the downs and down the ups that I usually tackle. One thing I meant to speak about after Wednesday's interval session at Queen's Park is the shoes. I talked about trying out the Pumas for that session, having done the previous one in the Adidas, and the decision's made now. I'll be racing in the Puma DV8 Nitro Elite Racer. This is the really old version that came out before the Nitro Elites that they're doing these days. Bargain basement pair, which fits my profile as a runner. And yeah, absolutely loved them on that session. I'll explain more when I've crossed the road. So you may recall last week I rated the Takumi Sen 8s 7 out of 10 for how they felt on the session. They are good shoes, can run fast in them, they're comfortable, don't cause my feet any problems as such, but I just found a little bit narrow and squishy. Not too bad, but just in a way that I don't get with the Pumas. The Pumas seem to be wider without being heavier, which is good. More of a solid platform to land on, less likely to roll my ankle inwards when I land. And the full carbon plate in them just makes them feel a lot more stable. The foam is soft enough without being so squishy that I can feel it, you know, squishing a bit too much when I land. Just feels exactly how I would want it for a fast race. So yeah, I felt fantastic in those. Can't wait to see how they do on race day again. I wore them for my PB 22:01 on the same course months ago, so yeah, they're still good. So with the shoe decision made, I started looking around for what I'm going to replace those with when they come to the end of life, because I like them so much. So I was rooting around on Vinted and eBay, and I found what I thought was a pair of the Puma DV8 Nitro Elite. They don't have the word racer in there anymore. Version 2 for only 60 something pounds, slightly used, so I thought they might be a good option. That is, I believe, the range that carried on from the ones I have. So I ordered them. They had Elite in the title of the product, but then after making the order I was, you know, doing the usual, looking at reviews after the fact and reading up about them a bit more, and I couldn't find any in the colour scheme that I'd ordered. So after a bit more digging I realised that even though it said they were Elites on eBay, they weren't. They were just the standard ones, and so I ended up cancelling that order. And because nothing's ever simple, they refused the cancellation at first, so then I had to message the seller and tell him that he'd described them incorrectly. So then he apologised and cancelled the order.
So back to square one with finding something to replace the ones I've got when they are done, but they've only done 200 and something kilometers at this point, so there's no rush. Just got carried away when I found some that seemed like good value. As there's not much to report on a 45-minute easy run, I'll take this opportunity to talk about how the body's holding up at the end of week 9. And my calves, they were sore after that Wednesday session. Wow, yeah, most DOMs in the calves I've had for a long time. Can still feel it a little bit today on the Sunday, but obviously it's a lot better than it was. Hips and glutes feel a little bit tight at the moment. A combination, I'm sure, of being in the taper and having done that hard session on the Wednesday. So just waiting for those to calm down. Other than the DOMs though, nothing to report, no issues. On the longer, faster runs, one or the other of the knees will start to ache a little bit towards the end, but it's gone by the time I get home from the run, so all good, feeling good, enjoying the taper. And I've got an easy week, obviously, in the lead up to the race on Saturday. So the body's feeling pretty good. And then mentally, obviously, I'm thinking about the race now. Thinking about the morning itself before the race. How I'm going to position myself on the start line. I'm not really used to pushing towards the front. And with a camera stuck in your head, you feel a bit more like you stand out. So, yeah, got that to figure out and deal with on the day. But looking at previous results for the race, if I did somehow manage a sub 20, I can expect to be somewhere in the top 10 or 20, depending who turns up. So I think positioning myself within 20 places of the front would be a legitimate thing to do, given my aspirations. So I'll try to do that. I do also feel some pressure to perform on the day. I've made more than 10 weeks worth of videos talking about how I'm going to go for a sub 20 for the first time at this race. Everyone watching knows what I'm planning, so now I have to actually carry that out based on the training I've done, which has felt very hard at times. So now I'm just trusting that this taper and just a few gentle runs and a few strides in the lead up will leave me in good condition and ready to get close to the target. I need to make sure I do the warm-up well before the race, time that well, put in enough effort to get myself primed and ready to go without exerting too much energy, of course. Given that my hips always seem to wake up around kilometre 6 and 7, I think I need to do 2 or 3 kilometres before the race, so that those 6, 7, 8 kilometres end up being when I need them in the middle of the race. So then, of course, the result could go one of 2 ways essentially. Either I go sub 20 or I don't. I'm trying not to visualise too much what would happen if I didn't. Well, that's just a little nagging doubt at the back of the mind, and I'm just trying to think positively and think about what would happen if I actually did it at the first attempt. Now, I've watched quite a lot of YouTube series where people have tried to go sub 20 in the 5k for the first time, and I have to say, in the majority of cases, they don't get it on the first attempt, at least the ones I've seen. Some people are regaining their sub 20 pace after having had it sometime in the past, which can go better. But for the newbies like me, I've seen people trying it for weeks, months, having several attempts, and I'm not sure why I think I'm going to be the exception and do it on the first attempt. I think it's going to be very, very hard to execute it first time and hit the target. So yeah, that's where my doubts are coming from mainly at the moment. But I know I've done all the training, I've followed the plan, I'm doing the taper, I've kept myself in good condition throughout. So if I do have a chance, I think I've put myself in the best position to try. So last day of August, we've already covered up the garden furniture. Ready for the bad weather. It's been raining a lot more than usual. Not sure what weather's going to be like on race day, but it looks like it's going to be fairly cool at 9 o'clock in the morning, so temperatures should be good, and we'll see whether it's wet or dry. As for lessons and takeaways from this week, not a huge amount. Obviously I've chosen the race shoes, the Pumas, so that's good. Glad I've got that sorted out and I'm happy with the choice. I've been looking after my feet a lot better after Soupy kindly sent me a link to a video about foot care for people doing long distance running. The main points from that are to use a pumice stone on the bits of hard skin, and the areas I had trouble with. The only kind of injury issue I've had during this training block was bruised and blistered foot, so yeah, using the pumice stone and then a moisturizer afterwards, which is something I never would have done otherwise. So yeah, thanks Soupy. Yeah, so in terms of lessons and takeaways, don't always trust what you read in the title of an eBay sale when you're looking for shoes. The word elite can easily be slipped in there when it shouldn't be. And yeah, I think that's it really. Feeling good at the moment, enjoying the taper, and yeah, just trying to keep the nerves at bay, ready for race day. And looking ahead to next week, obviously it's an easy week, the taper's in full effect. Monday is a 30-minute recovery run as usual. Tuesday is just a 40-minute easy run, so that's 5 minutes less than usual. I can just use the same route I did on the long run today, but not have to jog around the estate when I get back, so that'll be nice. Wednesday I have got 5 times 200 meter strides, so just a little mini session just to keep the legs turning over nicely. And then Thursday's rest day as usual. Friday's just a little shakeout, about 4 kilometers, jog around the block a couple of times, and that should do me. And then Saturday morning it's go time, so yeah, looking forward to that, eagerly anticipating, attempting a sub 20 and seeing how close I can get. If I can do it, it's going to be amazing, and you know, I won't be able to believe it, but it could happen. I'm going to give it everything I can on the day. So I'll catch you next week, guys. Thanks for following along.
I've got an itch I can't scratch, I'm missing a piece that completes a whole part of me, an open wound scar to see. Everybody come here, gather round, welcome to the freak show, the best in town.